Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Zeelicious cooking series. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you an ingredient prep hack that is sure to help you spend less time in the kitchen cooking your meals. Today's video is sponsored by Viva Dishwashing Liquid, my all-time favorite dishwashing liquid. I'll tell you why it's my favorite and why you should have a bottle or 2 or 3 in your home. But before that, let's get right into the cooking action, shall we? So let's face it guys, one of the main reasons we spend so much time cooking in the kitchen is because we always have to cook our meat pieces from scratch each time we want to make a meal. In today's video, I'm going to show you an easy meat prep hack that will help you eliminate long cooking hours. Now this is a hack I have used for so long and it always comes in so handy, especially when I want to make a main meal in a very short time. What I do is I take out one day in a month and batch cook my meat pieces for that entire month or for a 2-week period, depending on how much meat I'm consuming in my meal plan for that month or for that week. Hope that makes sense. Now on my countertop, I have different meat cuts here. I have some beef, tripe, chicken and gizzard and some seasonings I'll be using to season up the meat pieces. Now I'm going to batch cook these and then portion them out and then save them in the freezer afterwards and use them up whenever I want to make a meal. This way I can spend 25 minutes or less cooking a pot of soup or stew. I've washed the meat pieces thoroughly, and then because I like my meat pieces cut up in tiny chunks, I'm just going ahead right now to cut them up, but you can cut them in your desired shape or size. It's just depending on you, okay? And then also remember to remove the fat content from the beef pieces. If your beef comes with extra fats, just trim that out. You don't want that in your food. And then I'm also cutting up some tripe, which is also popularly known as shaki, because it's part of my meal plan for the month. Now this hack applies to whatever meat pieces that you consume. So it applies for goat meat, it applies for turkey, it applies for snails, even fish. If that's what you consume, it applies for that. Just batch cook it and store it up in the freezer, okay? After washing and cutting up the meat pieces, it's time for us to do the actual cooking. So let's move over to the stovetop. Because I'm cooking 4 different kinds of meat pieces, I'll be using 2 different pots to cook the meat. In one pot, I'll add the beef pieces and the tripe as well, and then season it very well with some onions and pepper blend. I'm also adding some extra chopped onions as well, garlic paste, some more chopped peppers, seasoning powder, and some salt to taste. Mix everything thoroughly to combine. Now I'm also going to be adding some carrots and bell peppers to add some more flavors to the meat. Now while that is cooking, in the second pot, I'll add the chicken and the gizzard pieces because I find that they require the same amount of cooking time to soften up. So gently place the chicken and the gizzard in the pot and then season with the onions and pepper blend again with more chopped onions, garlic paste, chopped pepper, seasoning powder, thyme, curry powder, and some salt to taste. Mix everything again to combine, then add some carrots and bell peppers if you choose. Mix again, cover, and then cook till it's very, very tender. So while this is cooking, let me go ahead now and talk to you a little bit about the Viva Dishwashing Liquid and why it's my all-time favorite dishwashing liquid to use and why you should have a bottle, or 2, or 3, or more in your house. I'm absolutely obsessed with the Viva Dishwashing Liquid for just a few reasons. The most important reason for me is how a little drop of it can go a long way. With just a few drops, I can get my plates and pots cleaned up in no time. It is also very tough on grease, which means less scrubbing and no building of muscles in the kitchen. And then of course, it is very soft on the hands and smells absolutely amazing. Comes in 4 different variants: the original, sea breeze, antibacterial, and the zesty lemon variant. So it's also a great way to add some color to your kitchen. I would also leave a list of superstores and supermarkets, as you can find it in Nigeria, in the description box down below. So be sure to check it out there, okay? Now, let's go back to the cooking. If you noticed, I didn't add any water to the meat pieces when I first started cooking. And that's because I wanted the meat pieces to release their natural juices. Sometimes they release enough juice to cook the meat through. Sometimes you might have to add more water. Now, this is all the juice that was released from the beef and the tripe. So I won't be adding any more because this is going to be more than enough to cook these beef pieces through. Same thing with the chicken. I don't think I need to add any more liquid. And I think the reason why it also released so much more liquid is because I stored the meat pieces in the freezer first and allowed it to thaw completely before I started cooking. So I think it took on a lot of moisture, and that's why there's enough water in the pot to cook the meat pieces through. But if you don't have enough water from the meat pieces, ensure that you put more water and then you adjust the seasoning accordingly if need be. Okay, so I'll leave this to continue cooking till the meat pieces are tender. Now, when the meat pieces are tender, take the pot off the heat and leave to cool down completely. Now to the very fun part of this whole event. To store this up, you can either use freezer bags or Tupperwares. I'll be using freezer bags. Now, portion the meat pieces into the bags depending on how you want to use them up. For the beef and the tripe, I'll use them for 2 main meals. So I'm dividing them equally into 2 bags. Seal it up gently and then ensure that you remove any air packs in the bag. And you want to just ensure that there's no air in the bag at all. So this is my meat prepped for 2 main soups that I'll be cooking this month. That's all sorted. Takes away all of the stress from me. For the gizzard and the chicken, I'm using it for 3 main meals as well. So I would also divide into equal portions. Again, seal it up completely, remove any excess air from the bag, and then just ensure that it is literally very flattened so it doesn't occupy so much space in the kitchen. Now guys, do not forget to save up the stock that you get from cooking your meat if you have any, because that stock is flavor packed and would also help flavor your meal. So you can just transfer it into a Tupperware and cover it up and put that in the freezer as well. So you guys can see how easy it was to batch cook your meat pieces. Now this method not only saves you time, it also saves you the money that you use to buy your gas or your electricity. Trust me, it's the way to go. We all know that what makes cooking take forever is when you have to boil up your protein, especially when you're cooking your Nigerian soups. If you already have your meat pre-cooked, you can make a big pot of Nigerian soup or stew in less than 20 or 25 minutes. Trust me. And for those people who say that that they would finish this up before it's actually time to use it up and they will use it as a snack, you guys better exercise some self-control. You can make enough to last you a month. You can make enough to last you 2 weeks. Sometimes I do a month, sometimes I do 1 week, depending on what my meal plan for that week or for that month is. So I think this is a habit that you guys should inculcate into your cooking routine to make life a lot easier for you. So my job here is done, guys. It's time for me to go do some cleaning up with my Viva Dishwashing Liquid. You guys, this dishwashing liquid is the truth. 1 drop literally goes a long way and it just smells super duper amazing. So you definitely want to grab a bottle or 2 or 3 for yourself to do all of your washing. Okay, all right guys, I'll see you next time in another video. Until then, remember to be very kind to one another, love yourselves generously, and it's me, the queen of fun and fast cooking, signing out right now. Take care guys.